Next witness. Will you please call Miss Rachel Brown to the stand?
You know about this?
Miss Rachel Brown? Will Miss Rachel Brown come to the witness stand?
My dear, let's repeat some of the things you told me last night.
Rachel, what did you tell him?
Take it easy.
Raise your right hand, Rachel. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Be seated.
Miss Brown, you're an old friend of the defendant, Bertram King.
Yes. We're engaged to be married.
Do you attend the same church?
Yes. We did.
Do you now
What?
attend the same church?
No.
Did Mr. Cates leave the church?
No, not really. Not the spirit of it.
But the body of it, correct? Mr. Cates left the church that you and he once attended together.
Yes.
Why?
Because of what happened to the Stebbins boy.
Stebbins boy. Will you tell us about that, please?
It was 2 summers ago. The little Stebbins boy was just 13 years old. He was one of Bert's students. He used to come over to look through Bert's microscope. Bert said he had a quick mind and he might even be a scientist when he grew up.
Yes.
One day he went swimming in the river with the other boys. He got a cramp and drowned.
Go on.
At the funeral, Pa preached that Tommy didn't die in a state of grace because his father wouldn't allow him to be baptized.
Why don't you tell them what your father really said? That Tommy's soul was damned, hiding in hellfire. Religion is supposed to comfort, isn't it? It's not supposed to frighten them to death.
You will have order, please.
Don't you see? He felt it wasn't fair that a child could not go to heaven. It wasn't God he abandoned. It was only the church.
Well, it is true, then, that because of what happened to the Stebbins boy, Bertram Cates left the church. You said nothing wrong. We're merely beginning to get some insight into the experiences that sometimes can lead a young man astray.
I object. Whether or not my client went astray is a matter of interpretation. Strike it from the record.
Objection sustained. The jury is directed to disregard the remarks of counsel.
Miss Brown, will you tell the jury some more of Mr. Cates's opinions on the subject of religion?
Objection, objection. Hearsay testimony is not admissible.
The court has no objection to this line of questioning. Proceed, Colonel Braith.
Just repeat in your own words some of the conversations you've had with the defendant.
Rachel, you can't.
Order.
The things that I said to you are questions. Questions that you asked your own heart. If you say those things out loud, he'll make them sound like answers.
Order.
Crucify me.
You won't hurt him, Rachel. This is for his good. Speak up.
Mr. Brady, please, I confided in you.
Rachel, we are here to serve the truth.
I can't remember.
May I remind you, Miss Brown, that you're testifying under oath, and it's unlawful to withhold pertinent information.
Just tell the court your innermost feelings when Bertram Cates said to you, God did not create man, man created God.
Bert didn't say that. Please, he was just bitter because of the Stebbins boy. He said man created a vengeful God out of his own bigotry and the devil out of his own hell.
And when he was wondering what was on the other side of the moon, did he ever once mention the possibility of heaven? Did he ever mention that? Or did he say that there was nothing except a world of stars and moons and galaxies and universal dust? Tell us, what did he say about the holy state of matrimony? Did he compare it with the breeding of animals?
Objection, objection.
Don't you? You want the good people of this town to understand what happened to his mind so that they can bring him back to his senses, don't you? Come on, tell it. Tell it.
Order.
Tell it all.
Order.
It was mad.
Order. Order.
Under the circumstances, I believe the witness should be excused.
Well, there's enough guilt to go around in that little movie there. I remember seeing another version of this. I think they call it the Scopes Monkey Trial. Inherit the Wind. Yeah, I think that's the name of the movie. They made a couple of them like that. This one was with George C. Scott. Other one was Spencer Tracy. But anyway, I remember seeing one of them, and they brought up this. Incidentally, they brought up this subject in the movie while they were on trial about Matthew 24, that Christ had already come, and they used that text where it said this generation, and I remember when I saw that, I said, well, I'm gonna look into this, So I've been looking into it my whole life. Finally, God showed me I got it rightly divided, and that's what I've been putting up here on the internet. That this event that happened within that generation was really what was talked about over there in Daniel. I think it was, I'm not sure, 44th chapter of Daniel. No, 2nd chapter of Daniel and 44th verse, where he's talking about the four empires, the Babylonian, the Persian, the Greek, the Roman Empire, the fourth empire, that there would be a kingdom set up. The God of heaven would set up a kingdom that would destroy all these other kingdoms, and it would never pass away, brothers. It would go on forever. Even over there in Daniel, they were talking about this kingdom, and in Matthew 24, I believe that is what is being revealed, brothers and sisters. And that is why so many, that is the part of the Bible that is getting a lot of attention nowadays by people, and it's being, in my view, distorted, because the two questions at the first of Matthew 24 have already taken place, in my view. That was this generation questions about the events that happened. He set up his kingdom, and that's what they saw in the heavens, brothers and sisters. It was revealed from heaven. But in my view, when it gets over into this talking about the destruction of the heaven and earth passing away, that's going back to the days of Noah, when the earth was destroyed. That's a long period of time that I put out there, that's a long period of time. And if you look over there in Luke, it says that this would be like a snare. It would come upon the face of the whole earth. Check over there in Luke 21. You'll see. This event is not the resurrection, brothers and sisters, the last day that we're reading about. The first two questions in Matthew 24 are, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming? Those are events that took place in the first century, brothers and sisters. But then he's answering another question when he goes over there. He goes over there and calls it the heaven and earth passing away. He said, this day will come as a snare on all them. This other was a local. This was a local thing that happened in Matthew 24. This great tribulation, that in my view is in our past. The great tribulation is in our past. The resurrection is in our future. That's the easiest way I can put it. But they are confusing the matter, and they even confused it in this movie that I saw. I can't watch the whole movie to get to it, but I don't know if it's in this one. It's either that one or the Spencer Tracy movie. Both of them they call Inherit the Wind. And I guess you'll notice in this movie that the religious guy, there's enough guilt to go around on this movie. For one thing, it shouldn't even have been in a courtroom. It shouldn't have been schools. It shouldn't have been, in my view. The schools themselves were were an entryway to this deception anyway. I don't believe people should be. And of course, this who is the somebody tell me, not Clarence Dowell, but the other fella, the supposed preacher. He had he was in error also, and they were kept talking about. They were confusing. Of course, you know, in this video you have the little child there, you know, that drowned it, you know, and that is a confusion, brothers and sisters. Little children, brothers and sisters, and this doctrine. I agree. Get the Bible as what get religion out of out of schools. If there's got to be schools, get religion out of schools because. Well, I'll show you one of these other ones where he's talking about that people don't. Well, I guess you can see how how this man is being portrayed. The man that's taking the God side, how he's being portrayed by Hollywood, you know, and but both of them are. There's enough guilt to go around on both sides, you know. Of course, the religious man in here, the one that was taking the Bible side, you know, the Bible thumping side, he was portrayed as intolerant, and of course he had a skewed view of God himself. See, he had a something to do gospel, and of course a little baby that drowned, the young guy that drowned. The little boy that drowned, they didn't explain that God is rich in mercy in this video. It just gave a bad portrayal of what it is to be. Well, it just put God out of your mind. But anyway, I don't know what I was trying to say in this little video, except that it was wrong to be even brought into a court, and it was wrong that they even had it have mandatory schools. I think maybe back then schools weren't as mandatory as they are now, but oh yeah, they get on to you if you don't go to school, so they can get their Charles Darwin thinking in your mind. Of course, I don't think that I think the whole idea of a public school, in my view, a mandatory public school, if people want to pay for their schooling, that's fine with me. But when it comes to mandating school, I think it's wrong. I believe that reading, writing, arithmetic, but all these other subjects that they put in there, in my view, lead to this right here, what we saw in this trial. I didn't show you all the different particular scenes, but they really get ugly. And like I say, they bring out that Matthew 24 in one of these movies that I tried to explain. Of course, they brought it up and said, look at here, Jesus is already come and gone. Say, that's why people don't even look into anything. But I'm telling you, Jesus, when he said this generation wouldn't pass away, he was talking about something else. He wasn't talking about the end of the world or the end or what the Bible calls, or what Jesus called heaven and earth passing away. That will be by fire, brothers and sisters. It'll be at the last day, brothers and sisters. And that is in our future. And I put some tape on those pictures of my little girl and they're coming down. I just put it up there to give something to look at. There you got the dinosaur there. That'll take care of the Charles Darwin part of it. Yeah. But anyway, I just want to get back with you. I hadn't had any coffee. That's why this video is so choppy, but I'll get rolling here in a minute. And just want to see what I do here and sit around in the morning. Thanks to all this great technology, you can go back and bring up something that happened. And anyway, appreciate everybody's comments. Peace and love, Miss Old Boy down here in Alabama.